जी, जी, फिर तो आई डोंट नीड टू से मच इंशाल्लाह। अलबत्ता हम लोग क्या पार्टिसिपेंट्स को म्यूट रखते हैं
हम्म।
एंड एट द एंड ऑफ सेशन वो लोग 15-20 मिनट्स में अगर वॉइस में पूछना चाहते हैं तो दे कैन आस्क इन वॉइस, या फिर चैट में टेक्स्ट में
ये
डालना है तो
चैट चैट बॉक्स यूज कर सकते हैं।
चैट बॉक्स तो थ्रू आउट खुला रहता। तो
हाँ।
इवन हम स्टार्टिंग में भी कैसा करते हैं कि जस्ट टू कीप द ऑडियंस मोर एंगेज्ड, उनके
हम्म।
है ना कहाँ से, वेयर आर यू फ्रॉम, या फिर ऐसा कुछ भी कर ले सकते हैं।
कोई इंट्रोडक्शन रहेगा पार्टिसिपेंट्स का इन द बिगिनिंग?
नहीं, पार्टिसिपेंट्स का नहीं है।
ओके।
जी,
अगर कम रहे तो हो सकता है, मगर अगर ज्यादा लोग रहे तो नहीं हो, टाइम ज्यादा हो
हाँ,
जाएगा।
जी हाँ, जी। अपन टेक्स्ट में वैसे इंट्रोडक्शन ले सकते हैं, लाइक मे बी वी कैन से कि मेंशन वन लाइन अबाउट योरसेल्फ।
हम्म।
शायद आई डोंट नो आप कैसे, या फिर ऐसा क्या है ना, मेंशन योर एज एंड प्लेस या रीजन फॉर ज्वाइनिंग दिस प्रोग्राम, ये समथिंग एक वन लाइन में पूछे तो पीपल विल आंसर इन द चैट। चैट में अच्छा आंसर मिलते हैं आपको इंशाल्लाह।
हम्म। सिर्फ नेम एंड प्लेस पूछ सकते हैं चैट
ये
बॉक्स
मैं
में।
पूछ सकते हैं, बिल्कुल जी। हम लोग तो स्टार्टिंग में पूछते वैसे तो क्या
हाँ
है,
हाँ।
ऑडियंस थोड़ा सा क्या है, वो पैसिवनेस से एक्टिवनेस में आ जाती है।
अच्छा। एक दो वीडियोस भी रहेंगे प्रोग्राम में, शॉर्ट वीडियोस।
बिल्कुल प्ले कर सकते हैं, नो
हाँ
प्रॉब्लम। बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। आपको कोहोस्ट शायद बना दिया होगा मुजम्मिल।
हाँ।
हाँ, कोहोस्ट भी बना दिया आपको जी।
ओके। और जो पार्टिसिपेंट लेट आएंगे उनको एडमिट करना पड़ेगा कोई?
नहीं नहीं, ऑटोमेटिक ऑटोमेटिक
ऑटोमेटिक?
है।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा।
नहीं तो भी हमारी टीम है, यू कैन फोकस ऑन द प्रेजेंटेशन, ये सब हम लोग देख लेते हैं इंशाल्लाह। जी, तो इंशाल्लाह लेट्स क्या
यस,
9 मिनट्स
स्टार्ट
में
एट 9 o'clock शॉप।
9 o'clock शार्प विल स्टार्ट इंशाल्लाह।
ओके।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम सलाम।
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन अस्सलातु वस्सलामु अला रसूलिल्लाह व अला आलिहि व सहबिहि अजमाइन। अजीज दोस्तों, अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू।
वालेकुम सलाम।
आज के इस एमएलसी वेबिनार में मैं आप सबको वेलकम करता हूँ। वी आर बैक वंस अगेन दिस फ्राइडे विद अ न्यू एंड वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक, एंड वो है हाउ कम्युनिकेट टू विन। तो हमने देखा था कुछ सेशन कम्युनिकेट इफेक्टिवली एंड कम्युनिकेशन क्या है, क्यों है। लेकिन अब की बार इंशाल्लाह आप कम्युनिकेशन के ए टू जी देखेंगे एंड कैसे ये आपको लाइफ में आगे लेकर जा सकता है, एंड व्हाई दिस इज आल्सो वन ऑफ द मोस्ट एसेंशियल स्किल। इंशाल्लाह वो भी देखेंगे आप। हमारे साथ हमारे मेहमान खुसूसी डॉक्टर सिराजुर रहमान साहब हैं। आपका एक मुख्तसर सा मैं तारुफ रखता हूँ, फिर इंशाल्लाह हम प्रोग्राम की तरफ बढ़ते हैं। तो डॉक्टर सिराजुर रहमान साहब का 25 इयर्स का एक्सपीरियंस है, और आपने डिज़ाइन एंड इम्प्लीमेंटेशन, कॉर्पोरेट ट्रेनिंग कॉर्पोरेट ट्रेनिंग्स को डिज़ाइन एंड इम्प्लीमेंटेशन किया है, कंसल्टिंग एमएनसीज के लिए आपने किया है, और इनोवेटिव एंड एंगेजिंग मेथडोलॉजीज यूज़ करते हुए रीइंफोर्स्ड लर्निंग रीइंफोर्सिंग रीइंफोर्स्ड लर्निंग नहीं, लर्निंग को रीइंफोर्स करने के लिए आपने ये सब मेथडोलॉजीज लिया है। तो 25,000 पीपल से ज़्यादा आपके क्या अटेंडीज या स्टूडेंट्स रह चुके हैं, एंड आपने एचआर डायरेक्टर, सीनियर बिजनेस लीडर्स, प्रोफेशनल्स, जनरल मैनेजमेंट, सी सूट लेवल के लोगों को ट्रेन किया है। आपके जो क्लाइंट्स हैं, जो कि बहुत ही फेमिलियर नेम्स में भी पढ़ने वाला हूँ आपके सामने, वो है एल है, डेस्मेट बैलेस्ट्रा है, क्वालिटी काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया है, IIFL है, टेसॉल्व है, एक्सेट्रा। आपके पास एमबीए आप एक एमबीए एंड पीएचडी होल्डर है, ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज मैनेजमेंट, और उद्योग मित्र अवार्ड इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक साइंसेस दिल्ली से है ना, आप ये अवार्ड रिसीव किए हैं। ज़्यादा टाइम ना लेते हुए डायरेक्टली हम मेन पार्ट पे जाएंगे इंशाल्लाह। आई वेलकम यू डॉक्टर सिराज टू आवर सेशन, एंड ओवर टू यू। वी लुक फॉरवर्ड टू लर्निंग फ्रॉम यू इंशाल्लाह।
Thank you, Nasir Sahab. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I extend a warm welcome to all of you to this evening lecture meeting on Communicate to Win. In this session, we are going to understand what is communication. We are going to look at some deeper aspects of communication and how effective communication helps us in achieving great success in personal life and also in professional life. All of us have tremendous amount of potential within ourselves. If we can understand this potential, bring it out, we are going to achieve great success. So this session is going to be very interactive. I request you to interact, share your thoughts, ask questions. You can use a chat box to ask questions. Later at the end of the session, we also have an exclusive session for question answers. So all of you are ready for the session?
ऑडियंस चैट में जवाब
Yes.
दे सकते
You
हैं
can say
हमारे स्पीकर के
yes
जो
in the
क्वेश्चन है,
chat
चैट
box.
में आप यस यस या नो डालिए। अगर नहीं है तो नोट भी डाल सकते हैं, आप रेडी कर देंगे आपको इंशाल्लाह।
So as all of us as professionals understand, communication is really powerful. Don't you think so? Let me quote one article which had come in Harvard Business Review, one of the reputed magazines in the world. And most of the successful people read that. Most of the business people read that. So one of the articles said the number one criteria for advancement and promotion for professionals is an ability to communicate effectively. In an organization, if a manager is being selected, what is the criteria? Communication. In an organization, if a leader is being selected for some leadership role, communication is going to be looked at. So wherever selection of people for various responsibilities is done, communication forms one of the important criteria. So therefore, if we can master communication, we are going to achieve great success in our personal life and also professional life. So do you agree with this? Do you really believe that communication is really powerful? Okay. Similarly, there is another person by name Daniel Webster. He says, If all my abilities under the sun were to be taken away from me by some inscrutable providence, if I am allowed to keep just one ability, I would unhesitatingly offer the ability to communicate, because with this ability, I can get back all the other abilities. So, what does it mean? Anyone would like to share the meaning of this quote? Don't you think it's very true? If someone takes away all our abilities, whatever abilities we have, okay, but we are allowed to keep just one ability, that is the ability to communicate. By using this ability, we can get back all the other abilities. So that's the power of communication. All of us would like to achieve success, don't you think so? Now, what could be some of the vital ingredients for success? Basically, there are three ingredients to achieve success. One is attitude. That's why they said it is your attitude which decides the altitude to which you are going to reach. Attitude is extremely important. And then comes the skills. Depending upon whatever job we are doing, we require skill. If someone is a software engineer, he requires technical skills. If someone is a doctor, he requires skills in surgery. So skills differ from profession to profession. The third component is knowledge. All of us would like to have knowledge. So without knowledge, we cannot achieve success. So these three things together form something which is very, very important, and we call it as the success triangle. So look at the success triangle. There are three elements: knowledge, skills, and attitude. Now let's look at knowledge. What kind of knowledge is required for achieving success? Without knowledge, can we achieve success? Today we are living in the era of knowledge explosion. So much knowledge is available. Look at the artificial intelligence. So much knowledge is available in various portals, on internet, in books, digital media. So are we benefiting from this knowledge? So we require a lot of knowledge. If we are working in some organization, we require knowledge of our organization, knowledge of products, knowledge of services. Similarly, we also require knowledge about ourselves. Don't you think so? So if we don't have knowledge about ourselves, we'll find it very, very difficult to understand other people. So once we develop knowledge, we also require skill. Skill has basically two components of skills. One component we call them as technical skills, which are different for different functions. But there is another set of skills which we call as behavioral skills, which are common to all the professions. And there are two behavioral skills. One is communication skill, and the second one is relationship management. So whichever profession you want to practice, whatever role you want to take up, whatever organization you want to run, you require both these set of skill, technical plus behavioral. So communication is one of the skills, one of the components of skill. So hope you are able to see how communication can help us to achieve success. And the third dimension is attitude. So what kind of attitude do we have? So some people develop the attitude of a frog in a well, very, very narrow. But there are some people who will have the attitude of a man who has gone to the moon. Is there any difference? So therefore, the greater is your attitude, the clarity which you have with regard to your attitude, it can really help you to achieve success. So the area of the triangle represents success, which means if we constantly develop knowledge, if we constantly keep sharpening our skills, if we develop right attitude, definitely we are going to achieve great success. Now, in this program, we are not going to look at a lot of other things. We are going to look at just one skill, that is communication. All of us are good communicators. We have been communicating right from our childhood. When we were in colleges, we have done a lot of communication. Now, if we are in organizations, we do a lot of communication with our family members, with our colleagues, with our bosses. If you are in senior leadership positions, we'll be communicating with other people in the organization. So depending upon how effectively we communicate, either we'll be able to achieve great success and emerge as a leader, or we'll be failing miserably. So let's look at how we can strengthen our communication. So what is communication according to you? Any thoughts One or two members can unmute and share your thoughts. कम्युनिकेशन क्या है? कोई डेफिनेशन आपके जहन में आ सकता है? व्हाट इज कम्युनिकेशन इन सिंपल वर्ड्स?
ऑडियंस चैट में डालिए अपने आंसर्स है ना, यू कैन पुट इन द चैट वन लाइन में, क्विक क्विक आप चैट में डालते जाइए स्पीकर क्वेश्चन पूछे तो वी कैन कीप इट इंटरेक्टिव इंशाल्लाह।
यस, so it's a very powerful tool, very good. Lot of responses are there. Good. Conveying your thoughts, transmission of thoughts, yes. So let me share one simple definition for your understanding. So communication is a process of exchanging our thoughts, our ideas, and our feelings with others. Don't you think so? See, there are two things we communicate. We communicate the content. Okay? In addition to that content, we are also communicating parallelly feelings. Don't you think so? So at any given point of time, when we communicate with people, there are two tracks at different levels. At one level, we are communicating the content. At the other level, we are communicating our feelings. So effective communication depends upon to what extent we express our feelings naturally, honestly, sincerely. So most of the time we focus on content. Hi, hello, how are you? Aap kaise ho? But the feelings associated with those words will be missing. As a result, it leads to miscommunication, misunderstandings, and also it breaks our relationship. So therefore, if we can understand the fact that communication has both content plus feelings, and if we can do justice in portraying both the dimensions in our day-to-day communication, we are going to be more effective because we'll be able to achieve our goal. And it's also a two-way process. Communication is not a monologue, it's a two-way process. So let's say if you are a manager in an organization and if you have some instructions for one of your team members, and if you just spell out those things, that's not effective communication. You have to check back whether the other person has understood your communication. Are there any drawbacks? Are there any issues? So only if the other person understands clearly and completely, then only you can say that your communication was very effective. Whatever we communicate on a day-to-day basis, through our communication, we must understand that we are reflecting our attitude in life. Don't you think so? If I stand in front of an audience and I stand very arrogantly, I may be doing a lot of communication, but through my attitude, what I indicating? I'm indicating my arrogance. The way we talk, the way we walk, the way we sit, the way we carry out things, every behavior is indicating our attitude. Unfortunately, if this attitude is not the right attitude, then it leads to misperception, miscommunication, breaking of relationship. And ultimately, if you are in leadership roles, we are going to be very, very ineffective as leaders. So therefore, we need to understand what is attitude and how we can portray right attitude through our communication. Whether we tell other people what is our attitude or not, automatically it gets reflected. Now, I want to ask you one question. Do you know your attitude? Yes. So, what is your attitude, Aisha? You can unmute and share. What is your attitude? You said you know your attitude. क्या है आपका attitude? How do you describe your attitude? How do you define your attitude? See, the problem is many of us do not know what is our attitude. Okay? We can easily identify attitude of other people, comment on that, give advice to other people to correct their attitude, but seldom we understand our own attitude. Don't you think so? So let's understand what is our attitude. So I'm going to share with you a framework with which you'll be able to identify your own attitude. This is based on a scientific survey. There is a tool called Wood test. So if you take the test, you'll be able to understand your attitude. So can you see this framework? There are two dimensions. One dimension is I. I means myself. In your case, yourself, the first person. When I say I plus, I'm making some positive assumptions about myself. What kind of positive assumptions I can make about myself? I can make a lot of assumptions about myself. No one can, take away this right. I have this right. I can think positively. I can feel that my communication is good. I'm worthy of listening. My decisions are right. So there are a lot of aspects and behaviors with regard to which I can have positive attitude. I can think positively. Similarly, I also have the opportunity where I can think negatively. I minus means making negative assumptions about ourselves. I'm not good. My communication is not good. My decisions are not right. I'm not worthy of listening. I'm not confident. So I plus means making positive assumptions about ourselves. I minus means making negative assumptions about ourselves. Now there are two other dimensions, U plus and U minus. U means the other person. If you are interacting with your colleague is you. If you are interacting with your boss, you means your boss. If you are interacting with your family members, the concerned family member is you. So again, U plus means you make a lot of positive assumptions about the other person. You are good. You are important. Your communication is good. Your decision making style is good. You are making all positive assumptions about the other person. U minus, you are making all negative assumptions about the other person. Now, when we put it in the form of a matrix, we get four different attitudes. And each attitude has a name. So the first attitude is I plus U minus, which means I'm okay, you are not okay. I'm superior, you are inferior. Then we have I plus U minus is called as aggressive attitude. You can note down aggressive attitude. So how do you make out someone is aggressive or not? Look at their communication. They'll be using a lot of negative words. Arrogance gets reflected. They don't listen to other people. If you give feedback to them, they hit you back. So through their communication and relationship management, they are creating more and more problems wherever they go. So that's why it is called as aggressive communication. Imagine if someone who is in leadership position, if he has this attitude, I plus U minus, is he going to be successful? In any leadership position, we have to motivate people. We have to inspire people. We have to take people along. We have to understand them. We have to nurture and build relationship with them. But if we have aggressive attitude, we are not going to achieve any of these activities. So we are going to be a big failure if we have I plus U minus attitude. Now let's come to the opposite of I plus U minus, I minus U minus, U plus, which means I'm not okay, you are okay, I'm inferior, you are superior. My communication is horrible, your communication is very good. So again, this attitude is called as passive attitude. Why passive? Because here our confidence level is very low, motivation level is very low. We lack clarity in our communication. Our confidence level is very low. So as a result, we remain where we are. We will not be able to discover talent within ourselves and achieve great success in life. So hope you have understood the aggressive communication, which is I plus you minus, I'm okay, you are not okay. And the opposite of that is passive attitude, I'm not okay, you are okay. Now let's look at the other two, I minus you minus. This is called as pessimistic attitude. So this this attitude is actually a very, very disturbing attitude. People get into this attitude if they have some depression or if they have some deep psychological problems and issues. Because when someone is in this state of mind, this person cannot understand himself, cannot understand other people, and can harm himself and harm other people. So not the healthy attitude. So when all the three attitudes are unhealthy, which is the healthiest attitude? This is the healthiest attitude, which is called as I plus U plus, which means I'm okay, you're okay. My communication is good. I appreciate your communication also. I'm worthy of listening. You are also worthy of listening. Here we deal with people in such a way that we come out with a win-win outcome. So look at the outcomes. In I plus U minus, the outcome is win-lose. In I minus U plus, it's lose-win. In I minus U minus, the outcome is lose-lose. Only in I plus U plus, you are going to have a win-win outcome. So this attitude is called as assertive attitude. Hope now you are clear with regard to what are the attitude. Assertive attitude, aggressive attitude, passive attitude, and pessimistic attitude. Now you tell me, to achieve success in life, to help people, to develop people, to emerge as a leader, which attitude is required? Yes, it's the assertive attitude which helps us to achieve success. So when you go for a job, the manager is trying to assess whether you have the right attitude. So he asks questions, and through that questioning process, he is discovering whether you have I plus, U plus. Let's say organization has already selected people. Now they want to groom. So they give a lot of training to ensure that wherever people are, they come back to I plus, U plus. Now let's look at the deeper characteristics of each of these attitudes. So people who are I plus, U minus, what are their behavior? Distrustful. They don't trust anyone. They try to dominate. They excessively use anger on small things. They flare up. They become furious. They depreciate others. They constantly keep demonstrating to people how other people are small and they are big. They reflect superiority. I'm okay. I'm great. They destroy others' sense of self-worth. Whatever self-respect people possess, they keep harming that. And difficult to give compliment. If people are doing good things, they don't even appreciate that. Now you tell me, someone who's in a leadership position, someone who's in a senior position, someone who's a head of a family, if that person has this kind of attitude, what will be the environment? What kind of climate gets created? It's going to be a disastrous environment. So therefore, all of us need to become aware of it and correct our attitude. We need to transform our attitude. What are the behaviors, characteristics of people who are I minus, U plus? Depressed. Most of the time they remain depressed. They are withdrawn. They don't mingle with other people. They'll be in their own world. Inferiority complex. They feel that they are inferior and others are superior. Their motivation level is very low. Difficult to accept compliment. If someone says you are talented, they say, no, 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 I don't have any talent. They disagree with people. Withdraw from difficult situation, give them some challenging job, challenging assignment, they don't accept. And sense of inadequacy. They feel that they're lacking in something and they find it difficult to identify what's that. So look at the characteristics of people who are pessimistic, despairing, nervous, confused, low morale, low productivity, low involvement, aimless. So basically people who are in pessimistic attitude, they require the help of a psychiatrist. Otherwise, they'll continue to create problem for themselves and others. Now let's look at what is required. People who are I plus, U plus, people who are assertive. So what are the characteristics? They are very optimistic. They are confident. They are happy. Compliment each other. They trust others. As a result, other people trust them. They respect each other, and they share and they cooperate. So now you have to decide out of these four attitudes, which is the desired attitude, and you need to move towards that very, very consciously. It should become your goal to become more and more assertive, to develop that win-win attitude in your life. Let's say if you do this survey, if your profile comes like this, what does it mean? You're very aggressive, not a healthy attitude. So another possibility is if your attitude comes like this, you're very, very passive. Again, a lot of development is required, coaching is required, mentoring is required, maybe counseling is required. If someone is having this kind of profile, immediate psychiatric help is required. So this is what is required. If you take that wood test and if your profile comes like this, definitely you can feel very, very happy. Hope all of you have understood what is attitude. Now, if someone asks, what is your attitude? You need to pinpoint and say, my attitude is assertive. Or you can say, my attitude is aggressive. Now I want to correct. I want to transform my attitude. Or you can say, my attitude is currently passive. I want to transform it to become assertive. Hope the attitude is clear. Now let's look at communication. Whenever we communicate, actually there are three components of communication. Whatever we want to communicate, first we need to think about it. Let's say you are invited to speak in a gathering. What do? First you have to think, what is the topic? Do you have enough information about the topic? Or you have to look at sources from where you can collect that information. So the better is the thinking, the quality of your presentation or communication will be definitely better. Similarly, in an organization, there is a meeting. Let's say tomorrow there is a meeting which you have to attend. So before the meeting, you should go through the agenda and think about the topics which are going to be discussed and what's going to be your contribution. So like this, if you can enrich your thinking, automatically you'll become a better communicator. Then comes better speaking. Better speaking means communicating with appropriate body language, uh, voice modulation. There are several elements of effective communication. So all these things, if you include, definitely you can create a positive impact on people. Communication is not just about talking. Communication is also about listening. Don't you think so? Listening is extremely important. There was a well-known management college in US, and all the candidates from this college were expected to be the CEOs of large multinational companies. A survey was conducted, and during that survey, a question was asked, for someone to be the CEO of a large multinational company, what is that one ability which is required? In that survey, they had abilities like planning, organizing, staffing, so many things they had identified. But do you know, more than 90% of the candidates had identified listening as the number one quality required for people to be the CEO of a large organization. So that shows the power of listening. So listening is a relationship building tool. You can just practice it when you are dealing with people. Listen more, start paying more attention to what people are saying, and in the process, your relationship will become stronger and stronger. Similarly, listening is also a data gathering or understanding tool. When you are dealing with other people, when you listen to the other people, you understand a lot of things about them. As a result, it improves your understanding, and also it improves decision making. So these three components are like a tripod. Okay, have you seen a tripod? What happens if one leg is broken? The tripod is going to fall down. So similarly, our communication can become ineffective if our thinking is very, very poor, if we are not speaking with all the ingredients of effective communication, or if your listening is very, very poor. So therefore, if we can strengthen all the three elements, definitely we are going to become great communicators. So depending upon the attitude, our communication also falls in the same line. If your attitude is assertive, your communication is going to be assertive, your behavior will be assertive, and you'll be able to achieve result. Similarly, if your attitude is aggressive, communication will be aggressive, behavior indicates that. If your attitude is passive, communication will be passive and your behavior will be passive. If your attitude is pessimistic, communication will have a lot of negativity, and hence your behavior will also be pessimistic. So these are the three communication style. We need to focus more on speaking and communicating more and more assertively. When we are communicating aggressively, we are focusing only on our needs. We are not we are not bothered about the other person's need. Similarly, if we are communicating passively, we are not worried about our own right. We are trying to protect the rights of the other people. But when we are communicating assertively, we are striking a balance between our needs, our requirements, and the other person's requirement. So to further improve our communication, we need to improve our questioning techniques. We need to ask a lot of questions, because in any discussion, the more you ask questions, if your questions are relevant, you get relevant information from the other person. Similarly, we need to listen more effectively. Communication also is very important for giving and receiving feedback. By giving and receiving feedback, we are helping ourselves, because feedback is the breakfast of champions. So if you want to become champions in life, we need to collect feedback. So feedback is related to communication. Then sensitivity. So while communicating, can we use right words? Can we use words which do not hurt the other person? If someone communicates very, very aggressively using harsh word, it hurts the other person. So therefore, we need to learn these 4 specific skills and practice. Now let's look at another important element, which is called as self-awareness. What is self-awareness? Have you heard about it? To achieve success, we need to be aware of ourselves. Don't you think so? If I'm not aware of my strengths and areas of weaknesses, how am I going to work on my weaknesses? How am I going to, bridge those gaps? So therefore, it is self-awareness which helps us understand ourselves better. Our personality is like an iceberg. What is visible to others is just 10%. 90% is hidden inside. And if you don't know the inside of ourself, how can we understand other people? So self-awareness leads to awareness of others. So self-awareness is a great leadership ability. So what is self-awareness? Ability to see yourself clearly and objectively, which means you understand all your personality dimensions. And then you also understand your own feelings, emotions, how these feelings and emotions are impacting yourself and others. Your feelings could be, creating negative impact on people. Are you aware of it? Your feelings could be creating positive impact. Are you aware of it? So if you have self-awareness, you will be aware of your feelings, emotions, your thought processes, your abilities, your areas of improvement, everything. As a result, you try to do something where you have some shortcomings, and over a period of time, you are going to grow and achieve great success. So what is self-awareness? Is the ability to understand your thoughts, feelings, actions, strengths, and weaknesses. Many times we understand our weakness, strengths, but we ask someone, what are your weaknesses? You find it very, very difficult. The other person cannot clearly explain. But if you have self-awareness, you'll be able to understand this. It involves recognizing how your internal state impacts your behavior and how others perceive you, how other people around you, how your family members are perceiving you, how your colleagues are perceiving you. Are you creating the right impact on them? So if you have self-awareness, you'll be familiar with all these things. So developing self-awareness helps improve emotional intelligence. Self-awareness is one of the components of emotional intelligence. To achieve success in the long run, we require emotional intelligence. So with self-awareness, we are entering the journey to become a great leader. So it can help you to improve your relationship, your decision making improves, and overall, you're going to be very healthy and great. So the greatest discovery is that you can change your life by changing your attitude, by correcting your attitude, by transforming your attitude, you can change your life. Let's watch a video clip which explains what is self-awareness so that we understand the concept. It has a lot of applications.
After completing this course, you should be able to explain why understanding yourself is essential for being a good manager and describe methods for enhancing self-awareness. Having insight into why people behave the way they do is part of good management. People bring their individual differences to work each day, and these differences influence how they interpret assignments, whether they like to be told what to do, how they handle challenges, and how they interact with others. By increasing their understanding of individual differences, managers can learn how to get the best out of each employee and more effectively lead people through workplace challenges. However, the first requirement for being a good manager is understanding oneself. Managers' characteristics and behavior can profoundly affect the workplace and influence employee motivation, morale, and job performance. Self-awareness means being conscious of the internal aspects of one's nature, such as personality traits, beliefs, emotions, attitudes, and perceptions, and appreciating how your patterns affect other people. A recent survey revealed the nearly unanimous answer to the question about the most important capability for leaders to develop is self-awareness. Most management experts agree that a primary characteristic of effective leaders is that they know who they are and what they stand for. When managers deeply understand themselves, they remain grounded and constant. People know what to expect from them. There are a number of ways that people can increase their understanding of themselves. Two important approaches to self-awareness are soliciting feedback from others and using self-assessments. Just as we use a mirror in the mornings to shave or fix our hair, we can use other people as a mirror to see ourselves more clearly. A manager might consider himself to be patient and understanding, but his employees might see him as easily irritated and unsympathetic. We all have blind spots, an attitude about a person that he or she is not aware of or doesn't recognize as a problem. This limits our effectiveness and hinders career success. Seeking feedback to enhance self-awareness can improve performance and job satisfaction for both managers and employees. We all have illusions about ourselves, so we need help from others to get a clear picture of who we are. Another highly valuable way to increase self-awareness is through self-assessment, which uses self-inquiry and reflection to gain insights into oneself from the results of scores on self-assessment instruments. By completing these assessments as honestly as possible, you can analyze your scores and increase your understanding of various aspects of yourself. Self-assessment also means regularly reflecting on our thoughts and feelings. Introspection, reflecting on our experiences, examining the effects of our actions and behavior, looking at the consequences for ourselves and others, and asking, "What can I learn?" is a valuable use of time that too many managers overlook. Some people keep a journal, meditate, or just sit quietly and think through their day. Remember, a manager who understands him or herself is better able to understand and interact effectively with others.
Any observations on this video clip? Any learnings? What are the learnings? We understood what is self-awareness, why it is important. So basically, we have to measure how much self-awareness we have. For this, there is a tool called Johari window, and it's a psychometric test. It's available both offline as well as online. If you take the test, you'll understand whether your self-awareness is high or low. If it is low, you have to work toward that. So how you can work? You have to collect feedback from people. When you collect feedback from people, and if you work on that, that leads to a lot of improvement. So basically, people around us are like a mirror. When we collect feedback from them, understand the feedback, take into account, then we are going to improve ourselves. That's why it's said feedback is the breakfast of champions. So what self-awareness can do, it can enhance our emotional intelligence. It strengthens our decision-making ability. You know, if we are managers or if we are in leadership role, our decisions have to be right. Don't you think so? If our decisions go wrong, everything goes wrong. So therefore, self-awareness helps us to take right decisions. It also builds our confidence and we emerge very, very authentic. You know, if we are very aggressive or passive, our communication may not at all look authentic to people. People doubt our sincerity. But if we have self-awareness, because of self-awareness, we'll also become awareness, we'll also have awareness of other people, and hence our communication, our relationship management, our bonding, our ability to influence each other, all these things will definitely improve. Ultimately, it leads to personal growth. So there are two dimensions of self-awareness. One is internal self-awareness, which means understanding your own values. What are your passions? What are your reactions to those things? And then external awareness, which means what kind of impact you are making on other people. Can you understand other people? Do you know how other people are perceiving you? So these two dimensions are very, very important in self-awareness. So there are a lot of tools to develop self-awareness. One is to prepare a journal every day. You have to keep a record of the kind of situations which you have witnessed and each situation, what kind of feelings and emotions you portrayed. Did you do justice to that? Let's say you met someone and you are congratulating, but during that congratulatory message, you know, there were no emotions, there was no positivity, there was no celebration, no jubilation. So like this, Every day you have to keep a record, you have to keep a diary in which keep recording all the incidents which have occurred and what kind of feelings and emotions you have portrayed. If you have done justice, it's very good. If you have not done, maybe next time it's an opportunity. So you can collect feedback from people in organizations. There is something which is called a 360-degree feedback, where feedback is given by your colleagues, your deputies, and your boss, and that opens up your eyes. Then you can practice mindfulness, which means being aware of our thoughts in our mind. And then there are psychometric tests like MBTI, DAYS, Johari window, Firabi. All these tests will also help you. What are some of the common barriers to self-awareness, ego? And if you have a lot of ego, and because of that ego will not be able to identify the gaps in our personality and transform ourselves, we'll remain where we are. Similarly, if we have fear for feedback, if you think that whatever feedback people give, it's very, very negative, and if you think on those lines, then you'll remain where you are, you will not grow in your career. So you need to solicit feedback, because feedback is the breakfast of champions. When people give feedback, you understand yourself better. Your self-awareness increases. Lack of reflection time. You don't have time to reflect on your own activity. So all these could be the barriers. And lastly, we'll look at the concept of Johari window. Are you familiar with this concept, Johari window? Yes, many of these tests are available free also. And there are paid versions also. So what this Johari window says is that all of us have psychological windows. Okay, all of us have 4 psychological windows through which we are perceiving people. We are perceiving our family members, our friends, our colleagues, our customers, everyone. We are perceiving through these. So this is actually a test, and after the test, if we explain it, you'll be able to understand better. But since we don't have the time, I suggest you to take that test sometime, and you'll be able to appreciate and understand. So can you see here, there are 2 dimensions is known to self. One is self. Okay, self means yourself. And the other dimension, vertical dimension on the y-axis is others. Others means your colleagues, your friends, your family members, and all other people. So self has 2 dimensions, known to self, not known to self. Known to self means all those aspects of your personality, behavior, mannerisms, motivations, which are known to you. Okay, you know everything, a lot of things about you. Similarly, not known to self means there could be certain aspects in your personality which are not known to you currently. Why it is not known to you? Because no one has given you feedback, or you have not realized. Your self-awareness is very low because of various reasons. There are certain dimensions in your personality which are not known to you. So now let's come to known to others. So people who are working with you, people from your family, they know a lot of things about you. Don't you think so? How did they come to know about it? They observed, they interacted with you, you shared a lot of communication with them, they also shared. So all this has created known to other dimensions. Not known to others. Let's say you're working in an organization, you have not shared a lot of things with your colleague. You have given only tidbits of information. Okay? So your colleagues know only tidbits of information. They don't know the complete story. So now when we put it in the form of a matrix, we get 4 different personality types, 4 windows. And all of us could be operating from one default window. So let's see which window is appropriate. Let's come to blind spot. What does it mean? Known to others, not known to self. All those aspects in your personality, motivation, mannerisms, which are not known to you, but known to others. For example, if I'm very, very aggressive, other people can see the kind of damage which I am doing, but I'm not realizing it. So that's why it is called as blind spot. All those aspects in your personality which require improvement, they come under blind spot. The more the blind spots in your personality, the more ineffective is going to be your personality. So which means the self-awareness is very, very low. Why? You're not soliciting feedback. When people are giving feedback, you're not taking in the right spirits. So you become very aggressive. Imagine people who are in leadership roles. If they have a lot of blind spots, can they be very effective? They become ineffective as leaders. So if they want to become effective as leaders, they need to identify those blind spots and reduce them through feedback, training, and coaching. Now let's come to hidden area, not known to others, known to self, all those aspects which you have kept confidentially. So they come under hidden area. Now, let's say at workplace, when you are interacting with your colleagues, friends, if you don't communicate openly and honestly, do you think others will communicate openly and honestly? Others will not communicate. As a result, what happens? Your communication becomes ineffective and you will not be able to build trusting relationship with people. So therefore, acting from hidden area, this window is also not right. Then there is another window called unknown area, which means not known to self, not known to others. So there could be some dimensions in our personality which are not known to us currently. Maybe over a period of time, those dimensions are going to surface in our personality. So such things come under unknown or dark. Now the only window which is left is open area, which means known to self and known to others. All those aspects of our personality, behavior and mannerisms which are known to us and also known to others come under this window. Now you tell me, to achieve great success, to get along well with people, to groom people, to emerge as a great team leader, which window we need to operate from? Do we have to operate from blind spot, unknown, hidden area? What is your thought? Which window can give us great success? Yes, which window? Yes, open area, you're right. So people who have after you take this test, you get the sizes of each of these window. If your open area is as large as possible, it means that you have a healthy personality. You can communicate more effectively. You can build relationship with people. You can give feedback to people. And when feedback is given to you, you take it in the right spirit. So now let's say if you have 5 colleagues with you, so one colleague could be operating from blind spot. Another colleague could be operating from hidden area. Another colleague could be operating from unknown. Now, when you communicate, what happens? Each member perceives you in a different way. It leads to miscommunication. But over a period of time, with training and grooming coaching, if all the members in your team, in your family, in your friend circle, if you start operating from open area, then definitely you'll find camaraderie, you find harmony, you find strength of relationship, you find synergy, all the positive things which we expect, they happen. Now let me show you one video clip which explains this phenomenon and then conclude. Whatever I explained.
Just a reminder.
My name is Bill Blake, and today I'd like to talk with you about another useful little tool called the Johari Window Model. This model can be used effectively in helping us understand ourselves and in building relationships with others. The Johari Window Model was developed in the mid-1950s by Joseph Luft and Harry Ingram, hence the name Johari. While primarily a model of understanding between two people, it can also be used to develop a greater understanding of ourselves and to facilitate personal growth. It is also useful in discovering your strengths, your blind spots, and areas to further explore. Because of the nature of the information shared in the process, the Johari window works best in a high-trust environment. The model consists of 4 quadrants. The first quadrant is called the open area and contains information about our behavior and motivation that is known both by ourselves and by others. The second quadrant is our private hidden area and contains information about ourselves, which we are unwilling to share, perhaps because of trust issues. The third quadrant is referred to as the blind area and contains things about ourselves that are known to others but are unknown to us. Other people know these things but are not willing to share them with us for whatever reason. The fourth quadrant is the unknown area of behavior, opinion, or motivation that neither we nor others are aware of. Obviously, the goal of the model is to make the open area as large as possible. Probably the easiest way to expand the open area is to move more into the hidden area. This can be done through self-disclosure. You simply choose to share or expose more of yourself. Expanding the open area into the blind area involves both asking for and receiving constructive feedback. And then self-disclosure and feedback among the participants will provide the shared knowledge that will move you more and more into the unknown area. Greater trust, feedback,
and the sharing of information will continue to enlarge the open area. Sharing of feedback is a lot like the green tail story. If somebody says you have a green tail, that person is crazy. If 2 people say you have a green tail, it is a conspiracy. If 7 people say you have a green tail, you turn around and look. It does not mean they are correct. It's just that they must have a reason for thinking the way they do, and you need to explore that reason. Feedback must be constructive to be of any value. Obviously, its purpose is to help, not hurt. It should be specific and focused on behavior that can be changed. For practical reasons, it should also be limited to the amount of feedback that the targeted person can use. Feedback should also be clarified to avoid any misunderstanding. And like that old Bing Crosby song, it's got to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. The major advantages of the Johari model include it helps individuals better understand their interpersonal relationships and communication. It can also be used to advantage in group dynamics, team development, and all forms of business relationships. The model can also build self-awareness through both disclosure and feedback, and it leads to a greater understanding of yourself, plus a greater understanding of others. And so, thanks for watching our short video. And remember the words of Zig Ziglar, you can have anything you want in life if you just help enough other people get what they want. Good luck on your journey.
Hope you understood the concept of Johari window. Ideally, if you take the test and then this explanation is given to you, your understanding will be much better. But since we don't have the time, we just have to do this. Lastly, our communication, whatever we do, it has 2 dimensions. One is intrapersonal communication. Intrapersonal means whatever we communicate with ourselves. We do a lot of communication with ourselves, don't you think so? And then we do another communication, which is called as interpersonal communication, what we do with others. So whatever communication which we are doing with ourselves, actually through this, we are programming our mind. Okay. So let's say if you start using a lot of words, negative words, I'm not like this, I'm not like this, I don't like this, then over a period of time, your mind understands that as your basic requirement and it programs your mind negatively. On the other hand, use more of positive words with you when you are dealing with yourself and others, then your mind becomes very, very positive. Our mind is just working exactly like a computer. In computer, there is a program and the hardware follows that. Similarly, our attitude depends upon our programming. If we program ourselves negatively by using a lot of negative words, our mind becomes very, very negative, our behavior becomes negative, and will not be able to achieve any goal. But if we use more and more of positive words, our mind develops more and more of positive programming, which leads to positive behavior and achievement of success. So with this, we are almost at the end of the session. I would like to thank ALMC for giving me this opportunity to share some of the thoughts with you. Because of the paucity of the time, I have not gone into the depth of certain things, but if we have time, we can take it up. Over to you, Nasir.
जी, जज़ाकल्लाह खैर for this session on communication. ऑडियंस से गुजारिश है कि अभी क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन है. वी हैव 5 मिनट्स रिमेनिंग. इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चंस, आपको एक सवाल है तो चैट में डालिए, और अगर कोई सवाल आप वोकली पूछना चाहते हैं तो हम आपको अनम्यूट करेंगे. आप हैंड रेस करिए इंशाल्लाह. और आपको स्क्रीन पर एक फीडबैक फॉर्म नज़र आएगा इन द मीन टाइम. तो ऑडियंस से गुजारिश है कि इसको फिल करें, ताकि हम आपका बेहतरीन कम्युनिकेशन यूज़ करके इसको फिल करें, ताकि हम हमारे प्रोग्राम के बारे में सेल्फ अवेयर हों और इसे बेहतर कर सकें इंशाल्लाह. जी, ऑडियंस आपके क्वेश्चंस शूट इन द कमेंट्स, एंड इंशाल्लाह डॉक्टर सिराज उसे एड्रेस करेंगे.
Maybe they can ask directly also.
Directly also you can ask, inshallah. Raise your hand, we will unmute you.
All these topics require detailed discussions with a lot of activities. Maybe sometime if we get an opportunity to do a full day program, I think we can elaborate all these things.
We have questions coming in the chat.
Yes, yes. See, Johari window is available free online. You can, not only Johari window, there are many other tests which are available like MBTI, freely available. There is a site called shl.com. SHL is the global leader in assessment. Many of the psychometric tests are very costly. They may cost 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 like that. But Johari window is freely available. There is a questionnaire. You just have to answer those questions. If you find any difficulty in getting that, you can contact me. I'll be able to share the hot copy of that questionnaire with you. And then I can interpret you also. Or since you have already understood how it is to be interpreted, you'll be able to understand. Basically, you need to have a large open area after the assessment is done. There could be a lot of videos also to explain how to interpret. You can go through that. It was developed by two psychologists. One person's name was Joseph Luft. That's why JO has come in that. And another person's name is Harry Ingram. So these two people jointly developed that instrument. So, in the olden days, there were not too many psychometric tests. Only this was available. Then MBTI was available. Today, there are hundreds of tests which are available. Most of the tests are paid.
There's another question. Okay,
Ah.
if we want to connect with Sir, does he help us in better communication or improve our communication better? Is he
Definitely,
taking?
definitely, I can suggest a lot of things. Basically, what you have to do is you have to attend some training program, or there are some organizations like Toastmasters. Have you heard of Toastmasters? Toastmasters is an international organization. Once you become member, they will work for your betterment in communication. Mumbai, there are a lot of chapters. You can just go to Toastmasters International website and locate the chapter near your residence. So once in a week, you have to attend the meeting, and then in that meeting, you'll get opportunities to present your thoughts, understand other people's thought, give feedback, receive feedback. It continues, and it leads to a lot of progress. Many large companies like TCS, Infosys, they all have Toastmasters Club. There are hundreds of clubs, just like Rotary clubs. These are communication-oriented clubs.
जी एक फसीउद्दीन हैंड रेस किए हैं
हाँ,
आपको अनम्यूट किया
yes,
जा रहा है
yes,
एम के
Fasiruddin, go
फसीउद्दीन
ahead.
जी आपको अनम्यूट किया जा रहा है टू द पॉइंट टॉपिक से आप सवाल पूछिए
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam.
First of all, thanks a lot. Mashallah, it was very knowledgeable session and eye-opener for me. I have two adult kids, and I can easily relate to things which you displayed. So my question is, one of the kid, due to some circumstances, developed some negative personality, and he has become, and it is becoming worse day by day. He is always thinking negatively, and so for such things, if we identify that negative traits in a child, how we should improve that? What should we do?
See, basically,
I'm also thinking to consult some psychologist, or
yeah,
sometimes thinking to
that's right.
give him
That's
some
right.
courses. Yeah.
So basically, in the initial stages, you require the help of a psychologist. Okay, and they do something which is called as CBT, cognitive behavior therapy. It involves a lot of communication, one-to-one communication.
Yeah.
Where the counselor who does CBT builds relationship with the child and makes that child feel important, and slowly they bring the transformation. Okay, if this is not done, then it will lead to a situation where you have to consult a psychiatrist who's going to give drugs and tablets, all those things.
Yeah.
So better to do it at the earliest and consult a maybe counselor, people who are trained and certified counselor. And also we need to give right kind of environment. The environment should not have any negativity. It should be like a role model, that kind of an environment. Otherwise, people who have this kind of issues, they may get irritated with small things. So you need to have a lot of patience, tolerance. So start with the counseling. Counseling will help in the initial stages. But if that doesn't help, if the behavior worsens, then psychiatrist is required.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Siraj.
Yeah.
And we'll end the program here. Jazakallah for the amazing session. And आपने जो questions को भी answer किया. And although I hope for more interaction from the audience, लेकिन
Yeah.
audience अभी communicate कर रही है, थोड़ा सा पीछे हट रही है, self aware होना है शायद या फिर Zoom पे थोड़ा problem हो रहा है. जज़ाकल्लाह खैर, काफ़ी नए मॉडल्स के बारे में आपने बताया एंड एग्जाम्स एंड टेस्ट्स जो हम ले सकते हैं इंशाल्लाह, एंड दिस विल डेफिनेटली बी बेनिफिशियल फॉर अस एंड टू द ऑडियंस एज वेल फॉर पार्टिसिपेटिंग इन आवर प्रोग्राम्स. चैट में आप देख सकते हैं AMLC का यूट्यूब वीडियो, यूट्यूब चैनल का लिंक है, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप है एंड हमारे कॉन्टैक्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन है. ज्वाइन कीजिए एवरी फ्राइडे 9 PM to 10 PM इंडिया टाइम. हमारे साथ इस सेल्फ लर्निंग के सफ़र पर जुड़िए. यहीं पर हम प्रोग्राम को एंड करते हैं. सुब्हानल्लाह बिहम्दिही, सुब्हानकल्लाहुम्मा बिहम्दिका, नशहदु अल्ला इलाहा इल्ला अंता, नस्तगफिरुका व नतूबु इलैक. चैट बॉक्स ओपन है फॉर 2 मिनट्स. और कोई कुछ बोलना है तो कह सकते हैं. डॉक्टर साहब, आप
बहुत
कंक्लूडिंग
शुक्रिया
वर्ड.
नासिर साहब. I'm sure all the members are going to discover greatness in themselves and bring it out for the benefit of their families and the entire ummah.
इंशाल्लाह.
Jazakallah.
जज़ाकल्लाह खैर. अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
Walaikum salam.
स्पीकर का कॉन्टैक्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन स्क्रीन पर है, आप लोग देख सकते हैं एंड वहाँ से आप लोग कॉन्टैक्ट कर सकते हैं.